Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Foote with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership while taking care of your closing and making sure it is a smooth and simple process. So we talk a lot about various different things about real estate when we get on to talk with you on Coffee with Connie. And we usually try to do that 2 times a week. I'm a little bit later than I usually am today. I don't know about you, but dealing with all of the crazy weather that we've got going on has put a little damper on what was going on today. So I'd like to get together and talk about things with respect to real estate. And when we talk about them, first I wanted to point out that a lot of the things that we talk about are not state specific. We actually do closings, are licensed to do closings in Maryland and Virginia, but most of the information that we talk about is not state specific. It is things that you need to know or that maybe you might have a question about that could be affecting you no matter where in the country you are. So today I wanted to talk about, you've gone searching and this is a really common, popular time of the year. There's a lot of activity going on in the real estate market because people have been sitting waiting for things to change because of the real estate economy and how it's been over the last 10 years. And so it is a very active market now, and a lot of people are looking at homes, and some of these processes are things that we should talk about. Maybe, I don't know all of the answers to the writing the contract phase and the going through the mortgage phase, but we've done a lot of these closings over the last 30 years. And so we've had a lot of experiences with various different things. So my goal is to spur some questions in your mind, maybe to understand who the professionals are that you need to ask those questions to, and get you going in the right direction so that you don't have problems or you don't have too much confusion or too much stress. The home buying process can be a lot, and so we just try to offer you some different tidbits throughout the week to help you understand a little bit more or maybe spur some questions that you hadn't thought about. So thanks so much for tuning in. Hey there, Pam. Hi, Judy. How are you today? Hey, Phil. How are you? Good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. So let's say there's 3 very important things when you decide you're going to be looking at a piece of property and you want to find a house or a piece of property to build on. So the first is you need to find a real estate professional that you know and trust, or if you don't know and trust, it's somebody that you have been referred to, that you've done a little research, that maybe you've done not only research, but you've asked other people other than just the person that referred you in the real estate community to find out if that person's going to be a good fit. There are a lot of great real estate professionals out there, but they may not be the perfect personality and fit for you. So make sure you do a little bit of interviewing, make sure you have some of these steps taken care of, because you want to make sure that you work with somebody that understands you, that works with you and thinks the way that you do when you're actually taking the time to go look at homes or property that you may want to build on. Good morning, Brenda. Hey, Katrina, how are you? Good morning, Bob. Thank you guys for tuning in. So doing your research and finding that realtor that you're going to be comfortable with working with is very important. Then before you go look at homes, you want to find the mortgage professional that you want to work with, because the realtor that you work with is going to want that mortgage professional to tell them that you actually qualify to go out and look at homes at certain price levels. And so you're going to want to do that research and find the mortgage professional that best works with you. So, and we're going to talk about that phase in just a minute, but at the very beginning, you want to make sure, again, that you find the realtor that you're comfortable with, but also the mortgage professional is very important because that's the person that you're going to give all your personal and financial information to. And, in today's world, that can be a very tricky situation. And there's so many different ways that people have been able to do things with your credit card information, your social security information. So you want to make sure that you do a little research, get some referrals, find out about how the mortgage professional you want to work with, how long they've been in the business, what their situation is, their track record, get some referrals from people that they've worked with, and then interview different mortgage professionals and make sure that the personality and the understanding, again, is somebody that you feel comfortable and confident working with. And then the third very important piece is to make sure that you choose who does your closing, because a lot of people, as you go through the process, there's so much information and so many things to work on. that by the time someone says, hey, you need to pick someone to handle your closing for you, you need to make sure that you understand that company that's going to be doing your closing, because not only do they pull all those pieces together for your closing and make sure that everything runs smoothly, all the questions are answered, any concerns, any problems that may have come up when they did the research on the ownership chain or the title of that property. But after everyone goes home and closing is over, that title company actually protects your home ownership for the rest of the time that you own that property. So no one can ever come back and try to take away your ownership through a lien that was placed, or a mortgage that wasn't properly taken off, or maybe an owner that didn't properly sign off on their ownership through the chain, which are all very common things. So I wanted to point those out at the beginning. 3 very important things. You have the right to choose all of those. You need to make sure that all of those are people that you feel confident working with, because they play crucial roles in finding that dream home and getting it secure, and making sure that you get what you're looking for, and that you're protected. So let's talk about, you found that real estate professional you want to work with. You've gotten pre-approval with your mortgage lender, and you've gone out and started looking at homes, and you found that one. So you wanted to make an offer on that home, and you went and to your real estate professional said, all right, here's all of the things we're going to, let's talk about all of these different pieces. What matters to you? What kind of things we're going to ask for? And they write up a contract or an offer for you to make an offer on that home. And then they give it to the seller's representative, the seller's realtor, for the seller's realtor to present it to the sellers, so the sellers can understand what's being asked of them. So you've done that. The sellers accepted your contract, your offer, and so now you have a valid contract. And now what? What happens now? So you started working with that mortgage professional early, that mortgage lender, loan officer. There's a lot of different terms for that person, but that person is the one that's now going to guide everything to make sure they have all the pieces to loan you the money you need to buy that property. So there's going to be a lot of steps and a lot of pieces of information that they need. So I bring this up because as I say, a lot of times, a lot of the conversations that we have are because questions have come to me from outside individuals. So I know a young person right now that's looking to buy their first home. And when they first started talking about buying, I said, we need to find that mortgage professional that you want to work with, because that person, first of all, is going to preliminarily take some information from you and decide and determine how much you can actually afford in a home, because of what they're willing to loan you and what money you have available to put into the project yourself. So you want to be talking to a mortgage professional first to get that information and that ball rolling, because they're going to actually qualify you to say to the realtor and to everyone else in the transaction, hey, they have good credit, they have the income to support being able to borrow this amount of money. So you've done that initially. So the next step is, like I said, you found that home, you've written that contract, you're all ready to go. And now you need to go sit down with that mortgage professional and say, here's the contract. This is what we've agreed to, and now we need to start working on getting this loan together. And the mortgage professional is going to start grabbing information and filling in the blanks of all the pieces they need to get that loan approved. So some of the things that you're going to need to think about is you're going to need some tax information for them, because they're going to need to verify that what you've paid in property taxes, what you've paid in income taxes substantiates your income. They're going to, hey there, Miss Lisa, how are you? Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. And that's what I really try to do, is explain things plainly, so that the homeowner and, all of us in the industry, we all deal with different parts of the puzzle, and I want to make sure that everybody understands those pieces. So thanks for your feedback. I really appreciate it. So the mortgage lender is going to look for information, because they've got to substantiate your income. So they're going to want tax returns, they're going to want W-2s, they're going to want pay stubs for a certain period of time, and not just this one. They're probably going to want 3 or 4 pay stubs. They're going to maybe want 2 years of tax returns. If you currently rent, a apartment or a home somewhere, they're going to want to see a copy of that lease. They're going to want information to know that what you're telling them that you make, how much income you make, and what your bills are, that those are actually true. They're going to make you fill out what's called a loan application, which is a breakdown of all of your income and all of your bills. Maybe you've owned a home before and you actually rent it out now. Maybe it's in another area and you got transferred to the new area, maybe here or wherever, and you actually have that home being rented out. They're going to want to see that lease to make sure that that income's coming in so they can include that in what you're able to repay on the loan. So they're going to have you fill out a loan application that's going to have all of the things that you have, money that you have coming in, and then all of the things that you pay out. So they're going to want to know about all of those bills and all of those statements to make sure that they compare those things so they can properly qualify you for your loan. So when you're starting to think about buying a home, you're going to want to start thinking about, gosh, I need to be saving some pay stubs because they're going to want to be able to see that. I need to make sure that I have my tax returns readily available, the most recent that I have. That I have copies of maybe bank statements, well, probably bank statements, because if you had a rental property, as we talked about, and you have income, they're probably going to want to verify that that really went in your bank. You're going to say that you have X amount of funds on hand. They're going to want to see those bank statements to verify those things. So they're going to gather everything that they need to verify that what you say you have coming in and what you have, say, going out, or what you say that you have going out is accurate. So when you're starting to think about buying a home, you're going to want to start thinking about some of those pieces. And the proper mortgage person, loan officer, mortgage professional is going to guide you through that. But I bring some of this up because the young person that I'm talking about that is starting to think about buying a piece of property is, in today's world, all electronic. So all of the pay stubs come electronically. Tax returns were done electronically, and none of them are saved in a repository, if you will, or on their desktop or in a certain area. So a lot of finagling has to go on to go gather that information to be able to supply it to the mortgage professional. So you want to start thinking about that. If that's you and everything you do is electronically, you're going to need to know the steps to be able to gather that information and pull it off from being electronic, to be able to email it to the mortgage professional or to be able to provide them hard copies, because these are things that they're going to require. Otherwise, they're not going to qualify for you, qualify you for the loan for the house that you've contracted to buy. So there's a whole lot more pieces of information they're probably going to ask you for, but these are maybe some things to get you started, to start thinking about, you know, as I'm looking at homes or as I maybe want to write a contract on a home, what are some things that I need to be thinking about in the big picture that I need to be able to provide? You know, if you have credit cards, then you're going to have some credit card statements. If you have a car payment, you're going to have a car payment statement. So those are some things that they may want to see that you need to be thinking about having that information readily available. Because the better that you are about providing that information, the better they are going to be about not asking you for last minute stuff and not holding up your closing, which is what you ultimately want to do so you can get the keys to that house. So you want to make sure that you have all of your pieces, anything you can think of that you actually pay out or that you receive income on every month. You want to make sure that you have some paperwork to back that information up for your mortgage professional. So hopefully I helped you a little bit with some information today. I am not a lender. I'm not a mortgage professional. I have never done loans, but I've worked with a lot of them. And as I said, I don't guarantee those kind of things that we're talking about. What I like to do is try to bring up some thoughts in your head that may help you be prepared and know who to ask and what questions to ask so that you can get all the right pieces in place, because the home buying process can be really confusing and be a lot of steps. And so the more that you know in advance, the more you can help cut those confusion and the process down a little bit. So hopefully I helped you a little bit with some information. Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Marnie. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I appreciate it. And so hopefully I helped you with some information. I try to talk to you at least 2 times a week with Coffee with Connie, talking about things that have to do with real estate. So if you have questions, reach out, let me know. People come up to me all the time and say, you know, was watching your video and I thought about this. Message me. If you don't want to do it in front of everyone else, that's fine. Just message me and tell me that you watch and that you get some information out of it, or maybe that you have some questions that maybe I spurred a question that you didn't know the answer to. Hey, David, how are you? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means the world to me. And if there's something that you got out of this that you thought, wow, that was a good tidbit, please share, because there's going to be somebody that maybe follows you that maybe doesn't know this information. There's a couple things I wanted to pass on. I am all about providing you with resources and information. And hopefully if you follow me, you know that by now. On our website, www.foottetitlegroup.com. If you go on either the buyers tab, the sellers tab, the realtor lender tab, and go to resources, there's all kinds of information there. There's buying guides, there's selling guides, there's checklists, there's frequently asked questions. There's a brochure, 73 Ways You Could Lose Your Home, that talks all about insuring and protecting your home ownership. There's all kinds of resources on there that hopefully can help you buying and selling. Or if you're a realtor or lender, you can grab some of that information and share it with your customers. That's helpful too. If you are moving into the Southern Maryland or Northern Neck, Virginia area, there are home buyers guides, welcome home guides on there that have listings of all the information and all the contacts in your particular community. I did want to say thank you so much for those of you that were able to come out to our event on Saturday. Make yourself at home in King George and Westmoreland. It was a great event. We had lots of door prizes. We did a lot of cool things. We learned a lot, and the service providers there were able to share a lot of things. The Boy Scouts did a demonstration. The Girl Scouts did a did their pledge. The police department actually did some self-defense class, safety stuff. So that went really well. So I thank you all for who was able to come out. We are planning an event in Southern Maryland that's going to be in the fall. I'll keep you posted on that, so keep your ears open for that. And every month I try to put out a new piece of content that's active on our website in the What's New area. And right now we have the 10 things that first-time home buyers should know. You can go on there and download it. You can look in your email, because we've been doing emails about it. It's in our social media all month. So go and download it. That's good information to share. And lastly, I want to say, if you're a title company or somebody who works for a title company and you find some of the stuff we talk about helpful and you want to get more connected with other title agencies across the country, we actually have a group we're working on building that is collaborating together to help bring more information to home buyers so they understand the value and the purpose of a title company and why the buyers have the right to choose and why it's really important to do that. So if you type in bit.ly.smalltitlemarketing.com, then you'll be able to go find our group and be able to get involved in that. So I would love it if you'd like to join. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. If there's something I'm not talking about that you think would be a great topic, please reach out to me and let me know. I love sharing information with you guys, and I love interacting and helping you out. So I'm Connie Foote with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. I hope you guys have a fantastic Thursday, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.